Hey everyone, I'm Jim and welcome to my channel, Real Estate on Fire. My friends call me Turbo, so that means you can call me Turbo too. And I'm a certified master inspector and certified inspection expert. I've been involved around the real estate industry and I've made many friends who sell homes or manage real estate companies or brokerages. If you want to learn more information about the inside workings of the real estate transaction on a much more transparent level, then you're definitely in the right place. Today, I'm going to personally show you the top 10 ways on how to win your dream home in a seller's market with the potential for bidding wars. Make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video, where I'll give you 3 bonus things that will increase your chances of winning dramatically. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's start by facing some truths. This video is not sponsored in any way at all, and I do not pay to be referred by agents, nor do I pay real estate agencies to be referred. Now, buying a home isn't a shopping trip to the discount store, or even the major purchase of a car. And it's likely the absolute most expensive thing that you will ever purchase in your life. Don't miss these steps. Every one of them is absolutely crucial. And remember, stay till the very end because I'm going to give you 3 bonuses that will exponentially increase your chances of winning that bidding war. So the first thing that you really need to do, obviously, is going to be choose an agent, but we're going to leave that off the list and we're going to show you how to do that in a later video. But the first thing you need to do is get your financing pre-approval. And the reason that you need to get your financing pre-approval is so you can go in with a cleaner offer. So make sure that you have all your finances in order. Go to your bank, see what your maximum lending limit is. Set yourself to be financially responsible within that limit. Number 2, a pre-offer appraisal. So before you even put an offer on a house, make sure that you get the bank appraisal. The reason that you want to get a bank appraisal is to know what the actual value of the house, which will help you with a whole bunch of other things with the bank financing. So here's one that's always been kind of a topic of contention amongst real estate agents and buyers and sellers. But get a pre-offer home inspection. So we're not saying put your offer in now and get the home inspection later. Because the market's changed dramatically, we're recommending that before you even put an offer in on the house, that you get a home inspection. Now, almost every seller is going to allow this to happen because they know that your offer is going to get to be a little bit more solid. And after all, solid offers is what they're really looking for. They're not looking for, $15,000 down. They're looking for a more substantial down payment to know that you're a lot more serious and that you're not going to back out because of the home inspection. Now, make sure that you know your market. Knowing your market is incredibly important for the simple reason that you need to know what the selling prices are in your neighborhood or in the neighborhood that you plan to buy. Research that. Find out from your real estate agent all of that information. That's what they're there for, is to give you all of the information that you need to make an educated decision on whether or not to buy the house. Now, the next one that's going to help clean up your offer a little bit, and it's usually done after the offer or after the acceptance of the offer, is a title search from a lawyer. If you do that in advance, it ensures that there's no restrictions such as like an easement or a conservation authority restriction where you can't dig in the ground on the property or do anything on the property without, some proper investigation or environmental assessments of some sort. And it could prevent you from using the property the way that you desire it. So, if you have an easement, you might not be able to have a pool, or if there is no easement, there might be a regulation on that property as to whether or not you can actually have a pool. So spending a little time and a little money can go a really, really long way. And I have a personal experience with this where I almost bought a house in Oshawa near Taunton Tire where, you know, the house wasn't really perfect. It had been recently heavily renovated. The floors were a little bit warped. I had planned on jacking the floors to make the house level, which would have cracked all the drywall. But my previous experience with another conservation authority, not personal experience, but a friend of mine had some dealings with another conservation authority where they found out that they weren't allowed to do all kinds of stuff because it was surrounded by swampland, which was the exact same situation as the property that I was going to purchase. So I phoned the conservation authority and they said, "Sir, you're not even allowed to put a shovel in the ground there without some serious environmental assessments to make sure that you're not going to disturb any animal or insect life because it's basically a conservation area." So that was my due diligence. And I don't know what really told me to do that, but something told me to do that. And I did. And it brought up a really interesting conversation with the Conservation Authority as to what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. So there's the top 5. So if you're finding that the information that I'm giving you is helpful, then can you please just subscribe? Because I can see that like 90% of the views on my videos come from non-subscribers. So don't forget to also click the notification bell so that you know when new videos get released. And most important to me is that you actually comment in the section below to let me know what you think of the video or other video, or give me other video ideas that you might have. If you have questions, maybe other people have those same questions and we can make a video about that to help explain the process away, to make it a little more transparent and to make it a little more ethical. So the next thing you need to know is the average selling price in the area that you're wanting to buy from. So the house may be listed, so this is a common tactic right now. The house may be listed undervalued or underlisted, underpriced, and you need to know what are the number of houses in that area selling over the list price and what is the average price going over the list price. So if we use the number 100,000, they list it for 100,000, but all the other houses in the neighborhood, now this is like not numbers that the houses actually cost around here. I'm just using it because it's a nice, easy round number for everybody to understand, and it can be exponentially changed. So 100,000, but the average house in your neighborhood or the house that you're looking for, the neighborhood you're looking for a house, sells 15% over. That means it's selling for 115,000. But you go into this house and you see that it is spectacular. It has everything brand new, professionally done, the highest end equipment inside the house. Would you go in with only an offer of only 100,000, or would you try and negotiate the 100,000 to get it for less? Well, in this market, that's not going to work. What you want to do is try and match the price that matches the value of the house. Making sense? So just so you know, most offers only get entertained by the top 2 to 3 offers. Interesting. So number 7 is to give your offer strength with a solid, substantial deposit, a price that reflects the actual value and not the listing price. Try to choose a closing date that fits with the seller's needs. Know what chattels are included and which ones aren't. And make sure that your offer contains as few conditions as possible. Because if you followed this list, many times the seller doesn't always take the highest offer, but they take the lower offer with the higher deposit, even though there are conditions such as appraisal, because it shows a greater commitment from the buyer. Number 8. You need to know which items inside the house have contracts. Very frequently now, furnaces are rented, hot water tanks are rented, sometimes the air conditioner can be rented, and I think you can even rent gas fireplaces now. So know what the consequence is of owning that. What is the monthly fee, or what is the buyout fee? Now, number 9. This one's kind of an an interesting one, but it's something that you should know if you're so inclined with these sorts of beliefs. You need to ask the agents. Now, I say agents because you need to ask your agent, your buyer's agent, and you also need to ask the seller's agent, who are then going to ask the people who live in the home, have there been any unnatural deaths in the home or on the property? Interesting fact, if you don't ask, the agent is not required to reveal any of that information. Number 10, ask about any previous renovations. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important to the integrity of the house. If there's been a pile of renovations, then you might want to have an inspector that's very experienced to be able to see if there are any errors or anything like that that were made, or things that make the house unsafe, unhealthy, or affect the value of the house. Now, I promised you some extra tactics. So the real estate agents may not like these, but these are things that could help sway the bidding war in your favor. So what you need to do is you need to write a letter or make a video from the buyer, which is you, that mentions how important that house would be and what it will mean to you and your family if you win the bidding war and are able to purchase this particular house. Number 12 is a little bit more difficult, but it's easy at the same time. Try talking to the neighbors whenever it's possible to learn about the neighborhood in advance. So, most neighbors, not all, but most neighbors are more than happy to talk about their neighbors. Oh yeah, Billy Bob, he's been having water trouble with that house for the past 15 years. I don't think he ever solved it. Things like that. You know, you want to know, are your neighbors good people? Is there a lot of crime in the area? Which will bring us to the next one. Number 13, check the regional police websites to see what crimes and how many calls were made in that neighborhood. Some police regions have a spot on their website that will actually tell you how many calls there were, what the crimes were. So it'll give you the value or the comfort of safety, knowing whether or not the neighborhood you're about to move into is actually worth moving into for this particular house at this particular price. So, as you can see, doing your homework so that you know whether or not having a higher offer is even worth it before moving forward, or do you just look at another house? That's what your agent's there for, to help you make that decision. It may cost a little more doing it this direction, but the benefit far outweighs the cost. In fact, it could save you a pile of money in the long run. Anyway, I appreciate you joining me here on Real Estate on Fire. We'll hope you join us for the next video. I'm hoping to start doing weekly uploads on Wednesdays. So if you'll join us next Wednesday, I'll have some new tips and tricks based on the real estate industry, talking about the transparency of the real estate industry. Home inspections is my specialty, so I'll be talking very frequently on that and very openly. So have yourself a good time. Turbo out.